Hello mi gente and welcome back to Nata Knows Best. So in honor of fall starting today, we're going to be making some oatmeal snickerdoodle cookies. These cookies are the perfect combination of texture, sweetness, and of course those warm cinnamon spices that fall is so known for. They are moist, crumbly, and literally addicting. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get started on our wet ingredients for these oatmeal snickerdoodle cookies. In a bowl, I have some unsalted softened butter, and I'm going to add our white sugar. And I'm just gonna whisk everything together until it's light and fluffy. So roughly about 2 minutes. Next, I'm gonna add our eggs, and then I'm gonna add our vanilla extract. So just as a reminder, if you're looking for the full recipe, all ingredients and instructions will be listed down below in the description box. I will also be posting this recipe on my website, which is nataknowsbest.com. Let's give it another whisk. Now that we've covered the wet ingredients for our cookies, I'm gonna get started on the dry ingredients for our cookies. In a bowl, I have some all-purpose flour, and I'm going to add a pinch of salt, some baking powder, and then some cinnamon, because again, these are going to be some snickerdoodle cookies. So the base of this recipe is actually going to be a snickerdoodle cookie base. So just go ahead and whisk the ingredients together. Make sure there are no clumps. And if you guys are familiar with a standard snickerdoodle recipe, you're gonna notice that this doesn't have that main ingredient that a lot of them do, which is the cream of tartar. Instead, we're just including the baking powder because I find it's an easier ingredient to use. And also because we're going to be incorporating some oatmeal to this, I wanted to make sure that it didn't create too much tanginess in the cookie. So now that I've finished whisking our dry ingredients, I'm just going to swap out our whisk for a little spatula, and I'm going to fold in our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. We're gonna do this in small sections. And we're going to be careful not to overmix. Now that we kind of have our cookie dough forming, I'm going to add our final ingredient, which is our oatmeal. And these are just quick oats. Gonna fold those in. So our cookie dough is looking perfect. So now we're going to start forming the cookies so they start resembling that iconic snickerdoodle look. So here I have a little ice cream scooper, and I'm going to take a scoop of the dough and just roll it in my hand. And then here we have a mixture of some cinnamon and some sugar, and I'm just literally going to roll our cookie ball in this and just place it on top. The great thing about this dough is that it's a no rest dough, so you don't even need to put it in the fridge. You can just start working on your cookies immediately. This is super fun. And these are going to be fairly large snickerdoodle cookies, but I love the idea of that. Now just keep repeating the process until all your cookies are formed. Now that our cookies are prepared, we're going to bake them in a 375-degree oven for exactly 10 minutes, just until they're slightly wet in the center. Don't worry if they look underdone. By doing this, we're going to ensure that the centers are still very chewy once the cookies cool. Our cookies are done baking, so that means it's time for a taste test. So here I have our snickerdoodle. I'm gonna take my first bite. It's so chewy and so soft. I love how we incorporated the oats in here because it gives the cookie a little bit more texture, and it obviously complements the cinnamon. These are so good, and they're gonna be perfect for the fall season. So if you guys loved this recipe, go ahead and give me a comment down below. Don't forget to also like and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for next week for another delicious recipe. And as always, mi gente, thank you so much for watching. Nata knows best.